I'm going to be telling jokes, and if at any point you decide that you do not like a joke that I have told, I just want you to know that that is fine. It is perfectly okay to not like a joke. In quite a few ways. Most notably, you are discovering your sense of humor. That's good. It is a good thing to learn more about yourself and discover more about what you like and dislike. So, however, on the flip side, whether it's in bed or on stage, when it comes to self-discovery, I do charge. So, that might be a problem. But yeah, so if you hear any jokes and you're like, yay, that was good, I'm glad you're having a good time, that's great. If you hear any jokes you don't like, you do owe me $20. And I am keeping track, so just keep that in mind. So originally, this was going to be a very religious-leaning set, but that feels mean now. So I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm going to do kind of like highlight jokes mixed with potentially a story that I've never told on this stage before, depending on how time goes. So, sex. BDSM in general is a very expensive hobby in a lot of ways. You gotta get ropes, chains, collars, leashes, so on and so forth. It can get very expensive. A good sex swing is like hundreds of dollars. However, that's where I recommend having BDSM sex with French people. They can just mime it. Thank you, Steve. The one laugher. I mean, well, speaking of sex, I am pansexual. For those of you that don't know what that means, well, have you ever heard the phrase, don't judge a book by its cover? Well, that's me. I don't judge a book by its cover as long as I can stick my dick between the pages, right? Which, you know, it's all fun and games until you get a paper cut. With a small penis, that's like the whole thing. Basically chopping it off. Anyways. It's annoying. Anyway. Now, I may be pansexual, but I'm also extremely homophobic. Arguably, I am the best homophobe in the entire world. And I have proof for this, because if you go around and you see all these other homophobes, they're at rallies, they're holding up signs, they're shouting, fuck gay people. I'm the only one brave enough to do it. One very unfortunate aspect about that, though, is anal. I am allergic to it, which is really sad. Whenever I do it to someone else, it makes me swell. Whenever it happens to me, I just feel so stuffed up. Yeah, thank you. I'm proud of that one. Well, anal is fun too because it is the religious loophole. It's the whole God can't see. That's a reference to an old Hall & Oates song. Garfunkel Oates, my bad, not Hall & Oates, very different. And now that I've mostly run out of jokes, I'm just going to immediately go into the story that I've never told. This is going to be very unstructured, but I'm going to try to make it at least entertaining. Especially because it does pertain to anal. The first time I ever had anal sex with somebody else was with a girl. Previously, she had messaged me and she's like we had talked about hooking up for a little bit now. And she had messaged me and she's at one point had brought up the idea of anal and thought that she might be interested in it, yada yada. But obviously she was like, I don't want to try it right away. We don't have lube or anything. Anyway, as we were having sex, my dick slipped out, as it does, and then I put it back in very quickly, heat of the moment. Turns out I was wrong. Did not notice, and she didn't tell me. I didn't find out until we were done, and I pulled out, and obviously we were not prepped. It was bad. But the thing is here, like I said before, we did not have lube. Why didn't she mention that at any point during the entire encounter? How does that happen? How does it... How? Like when a girl gets wet, it's not I did say it would be. This is we did not fuck again. I wanna preface that because that whole encounter had a very awkward ending to it, and I was still living at home at the time, so she did meet my dad after. It was just kind of a really awkward experience. So yeah, I mean, there was more of a set before, but I'll do my impressions. I'll end on that. So this is my impression of a failed stand-up comedian turned right-wing advocate genociding for the genocide of all women. Advocating for the genocide of all women. Okay. Oh, women. Can't live. I hope you found your sense of humor.